Hey everyone, as you can see I'm in the middle of packing, so video content has not really been forthcoming because packing is taking up my entire life. I've got some bags under my eyes, I'm exhausted. It's just been non-stop for 2 weeks of packing up an entire shop. I mean, I don't just do blacksmithing, as many of you know. I also do a lot of carpentry, so there's all the tools and gear for that. I do electrical engineering, so there's all the tools and gear for that. And then there's the blacksmithing, and there's the tools and gear for that. And I'll be doing my last blacksmithing session where I live now sometime this week. I was going to do it today, but I am just bushed. It's just been so much work. I hate moving, and doing a giant interstate move into the middle of whoop whoop, as we call it in Australia, it's a challenge. It's a real challenge, but getting there, very slowly getting there. The forge is the last thing to be packed up. Yeah, it's a little sad. I know it's exciting to be moving where I'm moving, but it's still sad to pack away the thing that you love the most. And the topic of this video is about doing what you love the most. Comment that I see a lot, not just on my videos but on the videos of a lot of the people that I follow, is people highlighting the fact that they have a disability which slows them down and stops them from blacksmithing and pursuing their passion for blacksmithing. And I wanted to do a video on the topic despite it being a fairly controversial topic, because I myself am disabled and still do everything that I do. I know there's a connotation to that, and this is not going to be one of those videos where I just tell you to harden up. A lot of people are probably looking at me going, he doesn't look disabled. But my disability is actually internal. I have a condition called extraintestinal Crohn's disease. It's a genetic deformation of my entire digestive tract. It means that there's not a day that goes by that I don't experience horrendous pain, cramping, colic. There's risk of cataracts that can form. I have to be regularly checked for that. I've had multiple surgeries to remove different parts of my intestinal tract. It's nearly killed me a couple of times. I'm only here through luck and, I don't know, toughness, determination to keep making things. It's a daily task that I have to work with, spending hours in the bathroom. I've had to have to access my intestines, my abdominal muscles completely split and then refused, which took weeks of physical therapy. It leaves me unable to do certain things with as much ease as I would like. But the thing is, this video isn't a sob story about my condition. I've been dealing with it now for 20 years. It's been over 20 years since I was diagnosed. But I get on with it because, realistically, with the exception of a few illnesses or disabilities which I absolutely admit are, if you're a quadriplegic, it's hard to be a blacksmith. If you have narcolepsy, it's hard to be a blacksmith. You don't want to be falling asleep with the, falling on a hot forge. That wouldn't be good. But, there are some conditions, but there are a lot of conditions which just make life difficult. The universe is under no obligation to make sense to you. Life in general is not fair. It's full of challenges. And every time I hear somebody say, I'd like things to be easier because of my disability, I think of people. My disability is severe and it can kill me, but the thing is, I'm lucky in that I can fight through quite a bit. It slows me down. There are days where I just can't do it. The pain's so bad that I can't stand up. And that's just part of my life. I've been dealing with it long enough to be used to it. Sounds awful, but you do get used to it. But there are people who say that they couldn't do blacksmithing because they don't have the use of their legs. They're in a wheelchair. But then I think of Japanese smiths have been smithing from a sitting position forever. And when you're in a wheelchair, that puts you in a sitting position. You could arrange a forge to still blacksmith. And there are blacksmiths who operate out of a wheelchair. There are blacksmiths who normally sit in a wheelchair that have built a sort of bosun's chair, if you're familiar with that, in the shipping industry. Sort of like a hanging harness that they essentially are sitting in, and they can spin freely to be able to move between their forge and their anvil. My boy Ben Toombs has incredibly impaired physical abilities because of, normally you'd have two hands to work with, very dexterous hands, but he makes it work and he does it brilliantly, absolutely brilliantly. It's an inspiration. It just goes to show that if you are determined enough and you love the craft enough, why would you let something stop you just because you got dealt a bad hand of cards, genetically in my case, or it may have been something to do with an accident that happened. There are people who deal with losing a limb and continue to do what they're doing. You know, the drummer from Def Leppard, for example, loves to drum. Losing an arm didn't stop him drumming, and he's still excellent. And he works around it. He's got special gear that helps him out, and he works around it. Blacksmithing's no different. Like I said, I completely admit that there are certain conditions that would prevent you from blacksmithing, and that it's just too much to go through. But I'm not talking about those, and I'm not talking about mental disabilities, because they are a different topic, and I'm not saying that they're less important at all. I'm very much aware how important they are, because I struggle with my own, which I won't go into, but I'm talking about physical ailments specifically for this video. The thing is, if you love the craft enough, why would you let it slow you down? You may not be able to choose the fact that you have a disability. That's just a given. You can't choose that. But you can choose how you deal with it. It's okay to ask for help. It's okay to ask for advice, and there's some great places online where you can ask for tips. But if you find that your ability to follow your passion, for me it's blacksmithing, for you it might be something else, but if you find that your ability to follow your passion has been impeded, or you feel like it's impossible, ask around, do some research. There are options that you can do that realistically, you live once. You've got to just do what you love. You've got to chase that passion, and you can't let being dealt a bad hand stop you. It's very easy to sort of take this in a direction that sounds like one of those bad motivational speeches, because there are absolutely some things that stop you. I'm not talking about those ones. Those ones are very unfortunate. The vast majority of conditions, though, they only impede you as much as you let them. If you are determined enough to be passionate about your craft, be passionate about your craft. Work around it, because frankly, you are the only person who can do what you do and do it in your style. Nobody else is going to do it for you. Nobody else is going to necessarily help you achieve it. You know, there are a lot of generous people that will do their best, but ultimately it comes down to you. So I just wanted to shout out that I have my disability. I live with it every day. And sometimes, some days, it does stop me. But those days just make me hungrier for the next day when I'm going to give it a go. I'm going to do my best to fight through the pain, fight through the exhaustion, fight through the digestive issues that it causes. And it's going to cause me more problems the older I get. I'm in my 30s now, and it's just going to get worse. Make hay while the sun shines. Enjoy yourself. And really, there's no replacement for having fun. There's no replacement for the pride of knowing that you did battle through and came up with a solution, especially if it's a unique solution for you and your particular set of circumstances. And this may be a controversial video, and I'm definitely not just saying, you know, harden up cupcake, because that would be an awful thing to say. And as somebody who, you know, has my own battles, I don't want to be told that. I just want to hear more from these amazing people. Like I said, Ben Toombs is cool. There's a few other Smiths out there, the names are eluding me at the moment, but look them up. There's people who have fought through incredible adversity to do the thing that they love because it needs doing. Anybody that's passionate about blacksmithing or any craft will tell you that it gets to a point where it's beyond wanting to do that craft. You need to do that craft. If you need to do something, why let anything get in the way if you can possibly help it? I love watching what all of you do. You all have your own battles that you're going through, and you all still create those beautiful things. And so I guess this video is just saying, keep on keeping on, and don't let the bad days stop you. Don't let the pain stop you or the inconvenience stop you. You're all amazing. Prove it to yourself. If you like the Valhalla Ironworks t-shirt, I actually have these and several other blacksmithing shirt designs that I've made in my Redbubble store. The link is below. I've got lots of different designs, not just Valhalla Ironworks. Love it if you did pick one of these up, but I've got some general blacksmithing, sometimes funny shirts, sometimes motivational shirts, but there's some great designs there, so definitely check it out. And also check out my Etsy store, because I'm running a big sale there at the moment. I'm going to get back to packing. I hope you guys are all having a great time.